Introducing a second character, Detective Veronica Speedwell. Detective Veronica Speedwell is a brilliant and unconventional detective in Victorian England. She is also a bit of a rebel, and she is not afraid to challenge the status quo. Speedwell is a self-educated naturalist and lepidopterist, or butterfly hunter. She travels the world to collect rare species and sell them at a profit. She is also a skilled fighter and a fearless investigator. In addition to her scientific pursuits, Speedwell is also a passionate advocate for social justice. She is particularly interested in the rights of women and the poor. She is also a vocal critic of the British Empire. Speedwell's unique perspective and her willingness to break the rules make her a formidable detective. She is not afraid to go where others dare not, and she is always looking for new and innovative ways to solve crimes. Speedwell is a refreshing and inspiring character, and she is a great example of a strong and independent female detective. Veronica Speedwell's first case. She is hired by a wealthy socialite named Lady Penelope Ashcroft to investigate the murder of her husband. Lord Ashcroft was found dead in his study, stabbed in the heart. The police have no suspects, and Lady Ashcroft is desperate for answers. She turns to Veronica Speedwell, a brilliant and unconventional detective, in the hope that she can solve the case. Veronica Speedwell quickly begins her investigation, and she soon discovers that Lord Ashcroft was not the man he seemed to be. He had many enemies, and he was involved in some shady business dealings. As Veronica Speedwell digs deeper into the case, she uncovers a web of secrets and lies. She also finds herself in danger, as someone is determined to stop her from solving the case. In the end, Veronica Speedwell exposes the murderer and brings them to justice. She also helps Lady Ashcroft to find closure and to move on with her life. Veronica Speedwell's first case is a thrilling and suspenseful mystery. It is also a story about courage, determination, and the power of Detective Veronica Speedwell's most famous cases is the case of the murdered actress, Sarah Jones. Jones was a rising star in the London theater scene. She was found dead in her dressing room, strangled to death. The police had no suspects, and the public was clamoring for answers. Speedwell was hired by Jones's manager to investigate the murder. She quickly discovered that Jones had many enemies, both in her professional and personal life. She was also involved in a love triangle with two powerful men. Speedwell interviewed everyone who knew Jones, and she sifted through all of the evidence. She eventually discovered that Jones was murdered by her lover, who was jealous of her success and her relationship with another man. Speedwell exposed the murderer and brought them to justice. She also helped to clear Jones's name and to restore her reputation. The case of Sarah Jones was a high-profile case, and it made Speedwell a household name. It also helped to solidify her reputation as one of the best detectives in England. Here is a brief excerpt from the book that describes how Speedwell solves the case. Suddenly, it hit her. The key to the case was the love triangle. Jones had been involved with two powerful men, and they were both jealous of each other. Speedwell realized that the murderer must be one of the two men. She also realized that the murderer must have had access to Jones's dressing room. Speedwell went back to the theater and interviewed the two men again. She also searched their dressing rooms. In the end, Speedwell found the murder weapon in one of the men's dressing rooms. She also found a note that the man had written to Jones, threatening her if she didn't leave the other man. Speedwell arrested the man for murder. He confessed to the crime, and he was eventually convicted and sentenced to life in prison.